It's Saturday on the homestead, and we've got a couple days this weekend to work on some stuff. Definitely time to get those tomatoes and pepper plants into the garden. So we're going to work on that and a few other things probably. But I just wanted to take this picture, to have this in my memories because lilacs are so very special to me. I walked out the door just now and I knew they were close to blooming, but I walked out the door and the smell that hit me. Lilacs were my mom's favorite flower. I grew up with the smell and it just reminds me of her. And it's just such a beautiful smell. And I'm so thankful that when we bought this house, these two bushes were here. I think they need a little TLC, especially this other one has, the leaves are just not there. And they're just now starting to bloom, so they're not beautiful, but they do smell so good already. And I'm just so excited about lilac season. Last year, they bloomed on Mother's Day. Mother's Day is a very, very bittersweet day for me, and that's a whole nother story, but it's not near Mother's Day yet. I mean, a couple weeks away, and we're already getting these beautiful flowers. And so I'm excited for this short little time of spring that the lilacs are blooming, and they just smell so good. So the main thing we're working on today is these 4 cattle panels that we have set up in the garden from last year. This is where our tomato plants go. We have found this to be the easiest way to tie up tomato plants as they grow. These are 4 feet tall, and so you can get quite a bit of height out of your tomatoes before they outgrow it. We just use some little pieces of cloth or some little Velcro strips we have to tie up the branches as they grow, and that keeps our tomatoes growing upright and keeps them off the ground. So that's where we're going to be planting our tomatoes this year. And then what we've been doing so far this morning, we're just kind of cleaning out these rows. We've got quite a bit of mulch underneath the fabric. Now the fabric looks horrible because we did let the chickens in this garden over the winter, and they stop at nothing to get what they want. So they have kind of torn that up a little bit, but it has kept the growth down quite a bit. So we're just going to go with what we've got. We're not going to lay new carpet this year. And then we've got, last year we had, I think, 3 rows. You can kind of see them mounded up here. 1, 2, 3 rows where we planted peppers. So we're probably going to go with that again this year. And then we've got a little bit more space to grow to grow. Last year we had some watermelons here. We had like a watermelon patch. So I'm not sure what we're going to do with this part. We are going to be taking away Willie's dirt bed eventually, but for today our goal is tomatoes and peppers. All right, I'll show you what we're working with here. Starting over here, we have some bell peppers. We have some jalapeno peppers, and then several jalapeno pepper plants. We're going to plant those. We have beefsteak tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, yellow tomatoes, a Grappoli de Inverno tomatoes, and Amish paste tomatoes. We're going to plant those. So I have one plant here that I think that one's pretty much dead. None of these look great. They have been in a bedroom under grow lights, up in the grow lights, growing through the grow lights for much too long. So we're just going to hope that getting in the ground and getting some real dirt and real nature and real sunshine is what these guys need. I have some onions that I started from seed. I've got yellow on the left and red on the right. These also have just gone too long. Have no idea if they're going to make it or not. We're going to plant them, and if they don't, we'll just start over. That's okay. And then here we have the bucket of worm castings that we got from the last video. And on top of that is some eggshells that have been put in a blender. So they're fine powder eggshells. and the tomato plants really appreciate the extra calcium. It helps with bloom rot. So a little bit of that's going to go in each hole where we put the tomatoes. My OCD brain is having a great problem with this because we have 4 rows and we have 5 kinds of tomatoes and we have 5 of each kind. And so I can't put those in any kind of logical order. This is gonna hurt. Okay, we have all of the holes dug for the tomatoes, and Dave just went in to grab a couple more tomato plants so that we can at least have 7 tomato plants in each row, even if they don't exactly line up perfectly. So we've dug the holes. I've got 7 holes in each row, 4 rows. So the next thing that we're gonna do is take a break, get something to drink, because neither one of us can handle the heat even though it's only like 70 degrees. The next thing we're gonna do is be putting the worm castings and the eggshells, the ground eggshells, in each hole and planting these guys. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Just a little side note, I just checked and the temperature is 71 degrees. There is a light breeze and I am sweating like a mule. So that is why we moved to Indiana, because 95 degrees and highly humid with no breeze was killing us both. He has a good excuse. Dave has MS, and so heat really slows him down. I don't even have an excuse. I just hate heat. So 71 degrees, sunny, a light breeze, it's really pushing it for me.
The way we plant ours is, actually this right here is new for us this year. In the last year we had a lot of problems with blossom rot, and low calcium levels is one of the major reasons for blossom rot. So since we have chickens, and I guess everybody eats eggs, so it's not the matter of us having chickens, but all of our eggshells, after we use the eggs, we save them and we stick them in the toaster oven just briefly, like for 3 or 4 minutes, just reduce it down to just eggshell. And then we take the eggshell and we stick it in the magic bullet and we grind them up and we end up with this powder here. So we get this eggshell powder like that. So like I said, this is the first time we've done this. What we had just looked up and read is like from a 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of eggshells, what you want in each hole. So I'm just going to grab a handful there, and oh, there's a little worm in there. We don't want to kill our worms. That's beneficial to our garden. So I'll put that in there, and then I'm going to take a good healthy handful of this worm compost, which is it's worm poop. And we just had a video we just did where we just harvested that. We every time we cook something like that, all the scraps and stuff like that, we have a worm bin that we put our scraps in, and the worms quickly just devour everything. And there's we put no animal products of any sort. It's all vegetables and that type of thing that we put in there. So the worms eat all that stuff up. And so now I've got a handful of that, and then it's all mixed up, and that'll give our new plants a real good healthy kickstart and taking off to get going. And here, the first plant I grabbed here, this one's kind of a puny looking one actually here. Most of ours turned out a little bit better than that. We might have been able to look back in there and find another one. Normally I break up the root ball just a little bit. This one's falling apart pretty good there, but I'll just take this stuff and we'll pack it around there. And I probably really could have gone an inch or so deeper with this when I put that in the ground just now. Especially when you have a real leggy one like that, you always want to make sure that you get, I know it's kind of scary to do so, but you know, you're wanting this to start growing, but this doesn't happen until this down here is healthy in the ground. So it's more important to clip off 1 or 2 here and there, and like when you put it in the ground, to put it in the ground like this, and have it popping up where it's got all this, because every little spot you see along here, these little fuzzy things that you'll see on a tomato plant, all of a sudden each one of those will start growing a root. So tomato plants are awesome about that. It's just like every little piece of their stalk coming up like that is ready and willing, ready to, they're all in for it, and let's go build root system. So that's probably the, if that would have been a leggy one, that's why I'd done it, bent it over like that.
All right, we have all the tomatoes in. We just planted 28 tomato plants, of 5 of each of 4 kinds, and then whatever the rest of the other kind is. I'm not doing math right now. I'm hot and I'm tired, and we're getting ready to give these guys some water. You can see they're looking really puny right now, but they are in the ground, and better days are to come for these guys. Their days of living in a solo cup in a bedroom are done. One thing we didn't do with our plants that I know is highly suggested is hardening them, which means basically bringing them outside in their cups or whatever, letting them stay out for maybe an hour one day, a couple hours the next, and let them build up to being outside full time because of the wind and the rain and things that they're going to face out here that they didn't face in the bedroom. However, we were just so overwhelmed with plants. I've been trying to sell them. I've practically given them away. I had over 100 tomato plants and almost 100 pepper plants. It was all we could do just to keep up with that. We both work full time. Nobody was here and available to babysit the plants and take them in and out. So we're taking a chance. We're putting them out here. They're going to learn to walk on their own really quick, we hope. Okay, one last thing on the tomatoes before we move on to the peppers. We are going around and putting some coffee grounds, used coffee grounds, on top of the soil around each plant. That is also good for the soil and for the plant. Just got home from work, and it is really cloudy and overcast outside. It looks like it's getting dark already, but I never got back to videoing this past weekend where we were planting everything, and I just wanted to give you an update and close out this video with some of the plants after a couple days in the ground. Some of our plants are looking great. The tomato plants, some of them are standing up really good. And then we've got the others. We may need to replace some of these. I don't know. We'll give them a little more time. They may get their bearings and stand up straight. But some of them are just looking kind of puny. And then there's the pepper plants. They look great. But we've just got so many other green things growing here that you glance and it's like, did we even plant the peppers? So we did. They're here. Some of them are hard to see. Seems like they shrunk when we put them in the ground. They were looking so big in the bedroom. But I think the peppers are going to be fine. We just need to make sure we've got weed control. All right, y'all. I just about waited too late to end this video up. We've got some storms coming. You can see and hear how the wind is blowing. It's 3 days later after we started this video. I'm finally going to get it ended. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate those of you that watch my videos. Hope you enjoy them. Hope you learned something. Leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see, what we could do better. We're learning, and we're just excited to go on this journey with you. If you don't care, maybe say a quick prayer. The bad storms that are coming later today. Don't like storms, don't like tornadoes. And yet here we are in the middle of Indiana. So have a good week, everyone. We're gonna start working on some other videos for next week, and we will see you then.